Are you wondering what kind of items to even look for at the thrift store? That's what this video is all about. We're going to talk about some of my favorite items to look for when I thrift. Of course, there's tons of items, so let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Lindsay. We are headed to the thrift store today and we're going to look at things that I always look for at thrift stores. This is going to be like a typical video when I go to a thrift store. What do I look for? Because there's so much stuff that sometimes it gets overwhelming. So today we're going to look at the top, I think 6 items it is that I look at when I go to the thrift stores. I'm going to walk you through kind of what my mindset is when I'm looking through the thrift store, because sometimes it can be super overwhelming and sometimes you just don't know what exactly you want. Of course, I have a list of all the things I'm looking for because I like to keep a wish list of items that it would be amazing if I found. Of course, I look on Facebook Marketplace for some of these things, but something about the hunt of looking through the thrift store just makes it that much more exciting. So today we're going to go into a thrift store that I've only been into a couple of times and we're going to see exactly what I can find. I did go last week and I got a couple of things. Today we're going to go and look section by section and see exactly what are good items to look for at the thrift store, because some of it honestly is trash and some of it are super treasures. So gear up, let's get ready and let's go thrifting. I've been in this store only a handful of times. It's an antique store and a thrift store, so the prices definitely vary. But the first thing I always look at is shoes. Some stores have brand new shoes, like this one in particular. The brand new shoes range from like 15 to 25 bucks, but they also have used shoes available, which I think is great. Like this store has a ton of shoes, so you just need to check them out, because sometimes you can find like barely worn shoes for like 10 bucks, 5 bucks, and sometimes you can buy brand new shoes for like 20, 25 bucks, which is pretty great if you consider how expensive brand new shoes are. Kids shoes, you can also find great options here. So if you're looking for shoes, always check out the thrift store because you never know what you're going to find. One of the interesting things about thrift stores is that the trends always end up here. Like these Nikes are definitely on trend and Doc Martens are on trend, and these are both found at this antique store / thrift store, and you're going to spend about the same money that you do on a brand new pair at Target. And these are very lightly used or barely worn at all, and sometimes never used, and I feel like that's a better deal. Secondly, I always look at trinkets. I thought these dog bookends are adorable and they would look cute in a nursery. You could spray paint them, do a little DIY, but I thought they were adorable. I'm also really into ceramic things right now, and I thought this blue and white was super pretty. Only 7 bucks and would look amazing on a shelf or a hutch. Kettles are definitely trendy right now, and I saw some super adorable ones in the store, like this blue and white one, and there was another blue and white one, super ornate, very pretty. Some of them are vintage, some of them are not, but I think they'd be super adorable styled in your house. I saw this copper one and I honestly was obsessed. I didn't pick it up because it had this sugar thing and the little kettle, but I just didn't have a spot for it in my house. There's also milk glass, which I love. I don't know exactly what this dish is, so if you know what it is, let me know down below. But I totally could see that going around your house. This trinket section was just on fire. I saw so many cute little finds, and I was just imagining how I could use them all in my house, because right now I'm redecorating everything, I feel like. I'm really into finding cute candle holders, and I just got a Santa one for my Christmas hutch, and this one was just super pretty and definitely could be a good addition to my hutch. I didn't grab it today, but maybe I'll go back later. The lady who owned the store was marking things down as I was walking around, and she said I could get anything for a couple dollars off. I almost got this little trinket dish, but I did end up leaving it behind. Would you have left it behind? I don't know what this piece was, but it was kind of holiday-y and I definitely loved it. And I always look for pink depression wear. This store had quite a bit. I have a couple of pieces already that I got a couple years ago that I plan on styling on this new hutch that I have in my house. I feel like I'm finally getting around to doing fun things like that, so I always want to keep my eye out for things like this. Like this was a cake tray that was so beautiful that you could display either on an easel, or you could put a candle on it, or just have it somewhere in your house as a catch-all. So you just have to keep your mind open when you're seeing all the items. I thought this was a really cute tiered tray, which are super trendy, and it was marked down to only 8 bucks, so I almost grabbed it, but I didn't today. I had no use for these super pretty saucer plates because there was no teacups to go with them, but I just had to show you guys because they're super adorable and $10 off. Again, with the depression wear, always on the lookout because these were super cute. A set of 6 for $15. Like I said, this is an antique store and a thrift store, so you're going to find varying prices, but definitely items you can use to style your home. When I saw this set of 8 vintage little goose teacups and saucers, I had to grab them. They were marked at I think like 15 bucks. Yeah, 15.99 for all of them. She ended up giving them to me for only 12 bucks, which I thought was great for a full set of 8. I can't wait to have a little tea party with my daughter. The next thing I always look for is wall art. I'm currently on the hunt for cross stitch, so you'll definitely see me looking for those in my upcoming videos. But I always look at wall art because you never know what you're going to find. And honestly, I'm super into the vintage home interior stuff. My mom used to sell it when I was a kid, and now it's just so nostalgic for me and looks so cute. I love these oval frames. They weren't vintage, but they did look old. However, I just could tell that they weren't actually vintage, so I didn't want to put them in my house, but for $4.50 I definitely considered it. And when you shop at thrift stores or antique stores for items like this, you can find vintage and unique items for super affordable prices. Another thing you can always find at a thrift store are games, toys, kids items. We have this game and it's super fun, and I'm pretty sure I bought it brand new for like $9 at Walmart. I could have gotten it here. Obviously, you never know what you're going to find at the thrift store, but that's why you just keep your eyes peeled and grab things as you find them, because you literally never know what you'll find. I was in love with these vintage puzzles. I wanted to grab all of them, but I just didn't have the need for them. Like, if I wanted to start a collection, yes, but $4 for each of these was not bad. At antique stores, you can find these for like 12, 15 bucks, so I was loving that I found these today. This is another random item, but you can always find kids things. Like this toilet is $35 on Amazon. How do I know? I bought it. Wish I would have waited because this is a steal. I always look in the clothes section. I'm not a huge thrifter for myself yet. It's definitely on the forefront because I keep seeing really cute thrifted clothes on people. I just never want to like take the time. So that's like one of my next things I want to start doing. So keep an eye out for a video in a couple months for that, because I'm definitely going to start trying to thrift more clothes for me. But kids clothes, I always go to thrift stores. Look how adorable this is. Are you freaking kidding me? Onesies were 50 cents. Little outfits were $1. You cannot beat it. I got some vintage Guess overalls here for $1 last week. So you just got to keep your eyes peeled, and you can get your child's whole wardrobe for less than 20 bucks and have tons of items. This is not something specific that I always look for, but I just had to show you guys how many cute salt and pepper shakers this store had. They had them for 50 cents a piece, and these little geese ones are super trendy right now, so I definitely picked them up for a total of $1. But they had 50-cent salt and pepper shakers. There were some super cute ones, and I was just loving looking at them. Like, look at these for Thanksgiving. Are you kidding? I'm obsessed. And there's so many fun ones, just so keep your eyes out when you're in these antique and thrift stores, because you never know what you're going to find. And there are some really, really fun and vintage ones that you can find. Like, I was really loving all these Christmas ones as well. So just keep your eyes out, because these are fun little items that you can style your house with, and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Those are the main things I look for when I go thrifting. Of course, there's tons of things you can look for always on the daily, and it's fun for the hunt because you never know what you're going to find. All right, we're back in the car. What items did you guys see that you like today? Like I said, these are just items that I always look for when I go to thrift stores, because as there's so many things that you see in the stores, you kind of want to stay focused on certain items, because of course you'll run into some gems of things that like you'll never find, but having a little list that you want to look for every time makes it a little bit more focused and a little bit more easy to stay focused. What are some of the items that you guys look for in the thrift store? Because I want to know if I'm missing something. Of course, there's so much to be seen, and obviously they bring out new stuff all the time. So I want to make sure that I'm looking for the right things as well. So leave that down below. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. That's it for today's video. Next week, I'm going to have a video all about going to the same thrift store for a whole week in a row to see if I can find different items. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.